everybody, ArashiYT here, your coach of the Groningen Noctowls, bringing you the draft analysis for the LBC, the last battle circuit season 1. Another league, another Wi-Fi league nonetheless. We were invited into this league by KyleAye, coach of the Miami Dolphins, and I thought, you know what, let's try to end off Generation 7 as best as possible with a lot of content and a lot of entertaining battles, because we also have the BBL Season 3, which the draft analysis for that will be uploaded tomorrow, and we have the last battle circuit, so another Wi-Fi league. And I am going to join another Wi-Fi league, which is a little bit smaller than this one in the BBL. It's a bigger name, but it's another kind of format. But that will be all, you know, released in the future. First off, of course, we're going to focus on the draft for the Groningen Noctowls in the last battle circuit. So as I said before, a new Wi-Fi league, and for this league I thought, alright, let's draft a team with a few mons that I've used to or have used in the past, combined with a lot of other mons that I really wanted to use. So, you know, we have like I think we have like probably one of the most offensive teams that I drafted. It could be wrong, but for my personal feeling, the team that I drafted here is quite on the offensive side. That doesn't mean that we don't have any defensive Pokemon on this team, but this team is, if used right, it can be very, very offensively. And as I said before, I'm a very offensive coach. I'm aggressive offense, and that's a little bit different than hyper offense in my honest opinion, because aggressive offense is when you're going for the offensive when it's not even, you know, that needed, whereas hyper offensive is just it's just offensive all the way through. So let's go to our first mon that I drafted, and a mon that I really wanted to draft it for quite a while, and I think I drafted like in a Wi-Fi league that never came off the ground, but we drafted Victini. I really wanted to use Victini. Victini is one of the hard hitters in the Pixie, the hard hitters Pixie Pokemon. It's, you know, his typing, Fire Psychic, it hits a lot of the opponents. And it's just a mon that I really wanted to use, especially with one of the Pokemon that I really like to use in the Draft League format, but we'll be going into that Pokemon a little bit later. But I really want to use Victini because I think a Pokemon like Victini really suits my playstyle. As I said before, Victini is a hard-hitting Pokemon, and with that, combined with my aggressive offensive playstyle, I think Victini will be like a Pokemon that really suits my style. But then again, I said the same thing about Mew, and we all know what happened when I've used Mew in the MPL. I kinda disappointed with Mew, so hopefully Victini will be a little bit different. So next off, the next Pokemon that we drafted, or well, this is all in order of the list. It's not in the order that we drafted them. It's in the order of tier, and then the free agents that we actually pulled with the points that we had. So next up we have Ferrothorn. Now Ferrothorn is not an offensive mon. Yeah, most of the time you see Iron Bob's Ferrothorn with Rocky Helmet or Leftovers, like very defensively, and then with Leech Seed, like it's an annoying Pokemon. And the reason why I want to use it because it's so annoying to face off against that I just want to have it in my team right now. And Ferrothorn, Grass Steel type, which really works well with Victini. And another Pokemon that I drafted later on is, you know, I try to build a synergy around Victini so that if I use Victini in one of my matches, you know, the Pokemon around it can actually support Victini as the best. And then, you know, hopefully we can surprise our opponents a little bit and maybe secure the win for us. But Ferrothorn, I might use it even more offensively. I might use it as a lot of people used it in the past, so with Rocky Helmet or Leftovers, Iron Bobs of course, Leech Seed, Spikes, always handy to have a Spikes user there. But you can also use it offensively, put Power Whip on there, you know, try to, you know, deal some damage on your opponent. I think Ferrothorn is a Pokemon that if I would have used it a few years ago, I would be meh. But I'm trying to, you know, broaden my horizons a little bit. Even though I'm an offensive coach, I try to, you know, use mons that doesn't really fit my playstyle. So maybe it can surprise me, or maybe then I can say, yeah, I've used that mon. It didn't work well with the playstyle that I have, but at least I took a try at using the mon. And the Ferrothorn is like a mon that fits that criteria. I think, as I said before, a few years ago, I would have never drafted Ferrothorn, but right now, with the team that we have drafted, I think Ferrothorn could potentially be a huge asset to the team, so hopefully it will be that in this season. Now, next up, we have Honchkrow. Honchkrow is a Pokemon that I also wanted to use. I've used Murkrow in the PMC, and it worked out really well with that. I don't know if Honchkrow would fit the same role that I've used Murkrow in. Meaning, like, I put a Flyneum Z on that, and we're going for Mirror Move. I think it was C Mirror Move that we've used in, C Mirror Move to boost up the attack of our Murkrow in the PMC by 2, and then, you know, even try to do as much damage as possible. It could work. I might actually use something like that this season, because this is a league where all of the Pokemon can use C moves. There's no, like, points to spread across by choosing your C captain. It's like C captains. It's like everybody can use C captains. I think the only rule is like no omni boosting, and you can't baton pass like speed together with another stat. I think those were the rules that were in this league. So maybe we can actually use C Mirror Move Honchkrow in this competition. I really like that tech. C Mirror Move is probably my favorite C moves to use in Draft League format after using it with Murkrow in the PMC. But again, you can also put a Choice Band on the Murkrow, on the Honchkrow. Its ability, Moxie, is very, very, very dangerous. And another mon that I will be addressing after this one also has Moxie. You could try to go for Super Luck if you if you feel lucky. But yeah, Brave Bird, like Foul Play. There's a lot of things offensively wise that we can do with Honchkrow here, and we can even run a special physical attacking Honchkrow, so a mixed attacking Honchkrow here. It really fits my playstyle. I think Honchkrow is a mon that I wanted to use for quite a while now, so I'm happy that I got a chance to draft it in this league, and hopefully it can actually do a lot in this season. And it's always good to have a dark type in your team. I think a dark type in a draft league team is necessary to actually, you know, try to gain some W's, because if you don't have a dark type, psychic types have like a free shot at your team, and that can potentially hurt you because psychic types are scary in league draft format. So next up, we have this a little critter here. We have Heracross, bug fighting type. I think fighting types are also very important. That was my phone. My phone is there. Don't worry about it. But fighting types are also very important to have in league draft format. And I was contemplating about choosing Hitmonlee again or Hariyama, because I've used those in the past and we used those very well. But I thought for this league, I want to try out a new fighting type. And with that, having a bug type on the team is also very helpful. So Heracross really fits that criteria. Again, a very hard-hitting Pokemon. Not very good on defensive-wise. Speed is good, but not that okay, not that perfect. But maybe we can actually, you know, put a Choice Scarf on there, or a Choice Band on there, put Live Orb on there even as well. Maybe even put a Sea Crystal on Heracross and try to, you know, experiment on that level. I really like to experiment and try out weird, wacky sets. So Heracross, it gets the, I think, Moxie ability as well, as I just mentioned. It gets Guts, so we can even put a Flame Orb on Heracross to even boost the attacking side of him. And then, of course, with moves like Rock Blast, Close Combat, Brick Break if the opponent wants to set up the shields, reflect the light screens, knock off, of course. There's a lot of Earthquake, obviously. There's a lot of moves that you can put on Heracross to actually whittle your opponents down. And I think, again, it's a Pokemon that really fits my playstyle. So I'm happy that I can actually try out Heracross in this league, so that we have a fighting type that I haven't used in the past. Now, when we go to a Pokemon that I have used in the past, and as I mentioned before with Victini, we had to draft it again. Our boy, our MVP, Torkoal is here. If you guys don't know my channel right now, I've used Torkoal in the BBL Season 2 for the first time, and after using him there, I fell in love with this little fellow. Torkoal is an amazing mon. Of course, Drought, so he can put up the sun, which will help Victini out a lot. And it's just an amazing Pokemon. I really like Torkoal. I think it's very underrated because a lot of people don't think you can actually run Torkoal offensively. But if you are aggressive when playing offensive in League Draft format, Torkoal can actually do a lot of work. In the sun, Flamethrower, boost up his special attack a little bit. It can actually hurt a lot of the opponent's sides. And of course also Stealth Rocks, Rapid Spin, which is always handy, and the ability to have Solar Beam on there for any water types. It's such a great mon. It gets like Earth Power as well. You can put Sludge Bomb on there if necessary, and you can even run a Shell Smash set White Herb on there to boost the special attack even more. It's such an amazing mon. Torkoal is my favorite Pokemon to use in the League Draft format, and I had to use it again. I had to draft it again. I might actually not draft it in Generation 8 if Torkoal is in Generation 8 to, you know, experiment a little bit more, but until then, Torkoal is going to be a Pokemon that I want to keep using and want to have in my team because it fits my playstyle so much. And yeah, again, if you want to check out other videos where I've used Torkoal, you can actually see why I love this Pokemon. But let's go on the next Pokemon. Stoutland, we have a normal type here as well. Intimidate ability, always handy. And of course, we also have like Scrappy for pesky ghost type, but we also have Sand Rush, which we are going to use as well in this competition because we drafted a Pokemon that can really help out Stoutland with that. And with that, we also have another Pokemon that really can use the sand. So we might be able to use double weather in this league. But Stoutland, the only thing that I remember from Stoutland is it was one of my first shinies in Pokemon Black and White. I really got it very fastly when that game came out. From then on, I really like Stoutland. I really like its design. It's a very spread out Pokemon in terms of stats, like 110 in attack, which is good, 90 in defense, which is decent, HP 85, pretty okay. Of course, special attack is 45, and then the special defense 90 and speed 80. It's a very balanced out Pokemon, and I think, you know, with the abilities that Stoutland has, like Intimidate, which is very useful, Sand Rush, which can be very useful as well if used right, and then of course Scrappy, if my opponent has a ghost type that can become a problem, I can really use Stoutland in a team and build something around with it to actually make it work, and then Stoutland could become a real threat for my opponent. So again, a Pokemon that I really wanted to use in Draft League format for quite a while because, you know, I had some fond memories of Stoutland in the past, and now we can actually try to use it in this team. So yeah, Stoutland is here. The more, yeah, maybe you can even also put, like, I have also like ideas for like sea crystals in my head to use with Stoutland, but that's all something we have to look into once we actually are having our battles. Then next up we have our Mega, and we went for a lower tier Mega this time, and that is Mega Steelix. Of course, again, we have the ability here, Sand Force. This Pokemon's Ground Rock Steel attack do a 1.3 in Sandstorm, and it also gets like Rock Head, Sturdy, of course, very useful, and Sheer Force, which if it's still a normal Steelix, And I don't know what the rules are for Mega Evolving first turn. I might actually ask that after recording this video. But Mega Steelix, again, with a Pokemon that we drafted, which I will be talking on later on, with the sense up, we can actually, with Stoutland and Mega Steelix, we can actually, you know, we have options for another weather type in our team besides the Sun with Torkoal. So I thought, looking at it, because we drafted a lot of tier 1 Pokemon in this team, which cost me a lot of points in the end, so I had to go for a lower tier. Mega Steelix really fits the answer to that, and of course, look at that defense. That defense is really amazing. It's one of the, I think it's one of the highest defense Pokemon. I might be wrong on that. Not very fast, so we, you know, in terms of speed, it's a little bit mediocre, if I will say that. We have some fast mons, but we also have like very slow mons, so we have to actually work around with that as well. The Mega Steelix, ground type, steel type as well. Not a steel type, but with the ground typing, we have options to also put up Stealth Rocks with Steelix, because I think Steelix gets Stealth Rocks. Yeah, of course it does. Because sometimes Pokemon that you think get Stealth Rock don't get Stealth Rock, so we could then maybe run something else with Torkoal. We don't even have to bring Torkoal every match. We can also, as I said before, just go for the full Sand team. Mega Steelix is a Pokemon that, yeah, I never used it before. I never thought about using it before, but now it got the opportunity to be drafted by me, so hopefully it can put in a lot of work. And again, with the Sandstorm, we can maybe actually do some quite of yeah, dual weather shenanigans here. But Mega Steelix, don't really know how I'm going to use it, because I never used it before and I don't had a plan to use it. So for this team, I think it's just a perfect Mega surrounding the whole team. So hopefully it can actually put in a lot of work. Then the next Pokemon that we've chosen is, now we're going, the last 4 months are the months that I spent my points with. So with Mega Steelix, we got some points back because it was a lower tier Mega. And Zapdos is tier 1, and we decided to draft Zapdos. So we have like Victini, we have like Zapdos, and we have another tier 1. At least was tier 1 in this league, if I'm not mistaken. But with Zapdos, we have a flying type here together with Honchkrow, but we also have a very good electric type. Electric types, with this team at least, it could potentially work out a lot. Zapdos, I've used it before in a showdown league, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just a decent Pokemon to use in draft league format. Slap leftovers on that thing, and you know, this thing can deal damage and also take damage from the opponent's side. And you know, it gets Baton Pass, so we could try to maybe, you know, do some Baton Pass shenanigans on there. It gets like a good coverage, like Heat Wave in the sun could potentially be huge for us. And like Discharge, Thunderbolt. You know, it gets Signal Beam. We can put up the substitute, Thunder Wave on there. Yeah, this is a Pokemon that you can't say really much to it, because a lot of people already know what it can do. So Zapdos here is a well asset to my team, and I really spent some points on this team. So because I really wanted to use like a lot of tier 1s, tier 2s, so I really, you know, spent my points there, and hopefully I can create a huge team, like a very solid teams with the mons that I have to my possibilities. And I think Zapdos is one of those Pokemon that really works well in any team. So glad I got it, and it's probably going to do a lot of work for our team. Then next up, we have another tier 1, and a Pokemon that works really well, in my honest opinion, with Victini and Ferrothorn, and that is Tapu Fini. What a fairy type. So just think about it. Somebody wants to poison type attack Tapu Fini, go into my Ferrothorn. Somebody wants to, you know, close combat the Ferrothorn, go into Victini or Tapu Fini. Somebody wants to Earthquake on the Victini or the Ferrothorn, I can go into my Tapu Fini. Somebody wants to Dark type attack my Victini, go into the Tapu Fini or in this Ferrothorn. These three works really well together. And I really like Tapu Fini. I think I've used it before in the past, I'm not sure. I have a memory of using it, but Tapu Fini is a mon that works really well. Of course, it's not the best Tapu Koko. I think the best Tapu Koko is Tapu Lele, then Tapu Koko, then Tapu Fini. And I'm sorry, Tapu Bulu. I like your design and I like your name, but if I have to choose between all of the Tapus, you will be probably the last one I chose. But I really like Tapu Fini, especially because it's a water type. And water types are like, I think you find a water type in every Draft League team. Because water types are one of the biggest typings in Pokemon. So having a good water type is important. I think Tapu Fini really fits that role. And then with the fairy typing as well, we have a fairy typing that's quite bulky. So, but it can still, as I said before, it's the same with Ferrothorn. Even though Tapu Fini is most likely seen as a defensive mon, in the right hands, Tapu Fini can be used offensively. And I think in my hands, Tapu Fini can be used offensively. We can also slap a Sea Crystal on Tapu Fini, and we can try to do Sea Haze, Sea Hydro Pump for extra damage. I think you also have like moves like Aqua Ring or like some other moves where it boosts up your defensive, and then you can actually boost the defense of your Tapu Fini so it won't die. And then like with Aqua Ring, for example, you get some HP back, so it's just like you have leftovers, and then you also have like a boost in your defense. There's so much you can do with, and of course Defog, a great Defog user as well, so that you don't have to run Rapid Spin, or if you use a Rapid Spin user or a Defog user in the same team, if one of them dies, you still have like a backup plan for that as well. So I'm really glad that I got like the core with Tapu Fini, Victini, and Ferrothorn. I'm just going to call it the Teeny Fini core because I just like that name. The Teeny Fini core, the Teeny Fini Thorn core, the Teeny Fini corn, the Teeny Fini Thorn. Yeah. Teeny Fini, like that. That's what we're going for. The Teeny Fini core is here. I really like that we have drafted these 3 months, and you know, I think Tapu Fini is going to work out very well. But next up, we have the mon that's going to set up the sand for us, Gigalith. I wanted to use Gigalith, of course, because of Sandstream, because it can put up the sand then, and then like Mega Steelix and Stoutland can actually put in the work. And yeah, Gigalith is a Pokemon that's also very defensively, but look at that attack. 135 attack. Again, a slow Pokemon, but a hard-hitting Pokemon. So, with good defensive, so it can take a hit, and even though it's slow, the next turn you will get mollywopped by this thing. But it's also there to put up the sand. So who knows? Maybe I will use a team this season with both Torkoal and Gigalith in the same team. But yeah, Gigalith is here. We can also try some shenanigans with Sea Crystals on the Gigalith, but most likely you'll see like a leftover set with Gigalith, or maybe even something else. But Gigalith is here to put up the sand, and yeah, Heavy Slam as well. It's a mon that I wanted to use because I want to use sand in this team and fire, but I don't want to give out predictions about Gigalith because it's a Pokemon that is, you know, as I said before, it has good HP, good defense, great attack, but on the special defensive side, it's a little bit iffy. So we'll see how I can grow with Gigalith here, but I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I have more option than just the Sun on this team. Now the last Pokemon. Let me actually take a sip of my drink. So a couple of weeks ago, I think a month ago even, I put a poll out on Twitter where I say that I wanted to use some mons that aren't considered good, bad even, but I want to use them in both the BBL or any other leagues that will come up in the future. So I put there, I think Unfezant, I put Unfezant in that poll. I put Survivor in that poll, I put Maractus in that poll, and I put Macargo in the poll. Now the winner of that poll was Maractus, but Maractus will not be in this team, so that's something to be excited for tomorrow maybe. But the second Pokemon that ended up in that poll, so the one that got the second most votes, was Macargo. And I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. Like, Maractus got chosen in another league. But Macargo will be in this one. Now, what can we say about Macargo? Fire Rock type, not really good. Water types or ground types, you can put Macargo in a coffin and bury it. But if there's one coach out there who can make a Pokemon like Macargo work, it's this guy. I'm the one that made Roserade work back in the Auras days when Roserade wasn't that much used. I was the one who got, I think, 13 or 15 kills with Magnezone. Even later. I'm the one that got 13 kills with Torkoal in a Hubris league. I'm going to use Macargo in this league. I'm going to bring it in a few matches, maybe even more. And I can guarantee you that I will make sure that Macargo at least get one, no, two. I will make sure Macargo gets 2 kills in this league. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know against whom. But I will make it work. I will make it work. I will make Macargo work. This is the greatest experiment for me in this competition. We have an amazing roster of Pokemon. Victini, Ferrothorn, Honchkrow, Heracross, Torkoal, Stoutland, Mega Steelix, Zapdos, Tapu Fini, Diglett, and Macargo. Now let's go take a look at Macargo's stats. HP wise, pretty decent. 60 base stat, 50 attack, that's not very nice. But the defense 120, special attack 90, that's pretty decent as well. 80 special defense, pretty normal, good as well. Speed 30, that's okay. We can make this work. We can make this work. Now, again, we have Steelix or Gigalith here with Sandstream. Sandstream will put up the sand, which Macargo isn't affected by. And at the same time, we have the sun with Torkoal. Macargo is the glue that holds this team together. And as I said before, as I promised, Macargo will get 2 kills this league. I will make that work. Even if I only bring it one match, it will get 2 kills. That's my promise for you guys. And if I don't succeed, then you can create a punishment for me. Let me know in the comments section below what should happen if Macargo doesn't get 2 kills in this competition. Do I need to do 100 push-ups in a video? I'll do it. Do I need to eat something disgusting for your guys' entertainment? I will do it. Do I need to say the name of a Pokemon that I hate for like 10,000 times on a live stream or something like that? I will freaking do it. But Macargo will get 2 kills in this league. It will. But that is the team for the Groningen Noctowls for the LBC Season 1, the last battle circuit. All jokes aside, of course, I'm very thankful that I got invited for this league. I'm going to have a blast with all of the coaches in this league. And, you know, I have an amazing roster of Pokemon here that I can use. A Pokemon like Torkoal that I've used before, but a lot of Pokemon around them that I'm really excited to use. And, you know, in the end, for me, it's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about bringing you guys entertaining battles with entertaining commentary. And that is my biggest goal when it comes to League Draft format. When you guys are enjoying a match from me, then I'm already satisfied. So if you're hyped for the LBC Season 1, if you're hyped for this run of the Groningen Noctowls, don't forget to hit the like button. hit that like button, comment, share this video with others, and slash the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon, because then you get notified every time I upload a new video, and that is sincerely appreciated. But I'm going to end this video here. All of the matches will be uploaded on the Sunday, so you will have Sundays the LBC and Mondays the BBL, and of course the draft recap for the BBL Season 3 will be uploaded tomorrow, so be hyped for that as well. But I'm going to end this video off here, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching.